Because when you think about it, you have all of this happening. You did what people did after COVID. People adjusted to things that others were looking for, and it just and it became better for their business and really helped them grow. And that's exactly what you did before anybody was doing that. So
Yes.
that's
Well,
pretty awesome.
the mother of invention.
Yeah, yeah. And we're going to welcome in Jonathan. I assume this is Jonathan Miller, correct? He's here with us. He'll be with us in just a few. So we he can
There we
hear
go.
us, I believe. But
Yep, there we go. I think I'm
there
on
we
now. Is
go.
that
There we
good?
go.
Okay.
Hi,
Thank you.
Jonathan. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good, good. He's director of manufacturing, and we've just been kind of talking about the history of where Midwest Industrial Supply began. And I also wanted to talk about the building because that's another big part of the history. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But
Who knows the story of the building?
Well, I mean, we bought the building, as Midwest started. Originally, the office was up on, I think it was Freedom Avenue Northwest in North Canton. Went into the Akan Industrial Park. Had a small office in the Hammond Tree Engineering Building up in the Akan Industrial Park. Moved to downtown Canton probably in 78, 79. And then we were on 3rd Street Northeast. A couple of years later, we moved to this building on 3rd Street Southeast, both for the the square footage of space, as well as the business was growing. There were ever so increasing needs to have a little bit more office space and a little bit more space to produce products, to blend products. And again, I think the building goes back into the late 1800s, and when we moved. John, do you or Steve, do you have the list of people that have been in this building over the last 75 or 80 years? Does anybody have that handy? But the Euler family, the Garreau family, Diebold was in, utilized this space all before us. It seems to have been a foraging facility, maybe in the 1900s, had multiple fires.
Yeah.
So, when we moved in here, it was anything but something that you would feel comfortable operating in. And we rebuilt the building ourselves to a certain extent, the offices and the plant facilities. And by rebuilt, we cleaned out everything that was here, took everything back to the original brick, which is what we have today, which you can see behind Jonathan, and just left it that way. And, it really has become home. And, we've just recently had to do work to, maintain the essence of what we have, to keep all of the old elements of the structure intact. Kuhn Restoration did tuck pointing in the bricking all around, the buildings that we have here. And Jonathan can tell you about the other things that, have been done to upgrade the building to make it really modern. It's wonderful. It's, for us, it's the Taj Mahal.
Yeah. Yeah. And looking back, you asked the question, Bob, about who all has been here. I'm not sure who all has been here, but we have looked back through some of the Sanborn Fire, insurance maps and taken a view. And I think at one point, that it was kind of a cross point between rail and truck. So you look across in the wing that runs along the track side. There are about 20 ports, small doors where I think we were transferred. It used to be a lumber yard at one point. We have the massive overhead crane in the building that was used to transfer materials back and forth. So yeah, a lot of different functions, it would seem, have happened here since the late 1800s until now.
Wow. Well, it's, when you look at the building and everything that you guys do out of it, it's historical, but it's your home and very productive, obviously. So that's awesome stuff. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll actually talk about what you guys do as a business, because that's very important to learn as well. We're talking with the folks from Midwest Industrial Supply today on Spotlight. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
At Cleveland Clinic Mercy Hospital, world-class care is close to you, with multiple locations ready to provide the care you need in your community. From heart and cancer care to minimally invasive and robotic-assisted surgery, Cleveland Clinic is investing in your community with innovative technology and a growing network of specialists to meet your unique healthcare needs. For every patient, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit CantonMercy.org.
Saturday, October 5th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., historic Zoar Village will have some very distinguished visitors during Zoar and the President's Day. You'll have the opportunity to meet a selection of American presidents from the 19th century, as presidential reenactors will be on hand throughout the village, as well as characters from Zoar's history. Tickets are $12 for adults. Children 12 and under get in free. Learn more about Zoar and the President's Day at historiczoarvillage.com.
They come here illegally, crossing our southern border. Then Sherrod Brown rolls out the welcome mat for them here in Ohio. Brown voted to give amnesty to 11 million illegal immigrants, including those convicted of crimes like drunk driving, aggravated assault, and child abuse. And Sherrod Brown voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities in Ohio, which release dangerous illegals back onto the street, making Ohio's neighborhoods less safe. And while we struggle to make ends meet, Sherrod Brown is voting to give illegals taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals granted amnesty, Social Security, COVID relief checks, even a program to fly Haitian migrants into Ohio airports, all paid for by you, the taxpayer. You think you know Sherrod Brown? Well, after 31 years in Washington, Sherrod Brown's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Why is the whooping cough vaccine important? Whooping cough is highly contagious and can lead to pneumonia, seizures, brain damage, even death. It is most dangerous for infants who can be infected by adults who may not even know they have it. Protect yourself and your loved ones with a convenient, quick, safe vaccination at Discount Drug Mart. Drug Mart takes walk-ins, no appointment necessary, and most insurance plans are accepted with low or no copay for Medicare, Medicaid, and most private plans. Discount Drug Mart is your immunization destination.
At SARTA, we ride with Tom. Tom's son is Ben, with disabilities, not disadvantages. Fully independent for a full life.
I have a son, Ben Casey. Ben just turned 26 years old. And without SARTA, he would never be able to get to work. With Ben being able to take the Pro line, he's independent and able to get to work without me needing to do anything. We're lucky to have it. And, I hope people really appreciate it.
At SARTA, we ride together. Visit SARTAonline.com.
Hey, Ohio! Exciting news! Dominion Energy Ohio is now Enbridge Gas Ohio. With 175 years experience delivering reliable energy, we're pleased to welcome Dominion Energy customers to our family. While the name and look of your gas company has changed, we remain your first choice for affordable natural gas. We're happy to be part of Ohio's energy future and look forward to serving you. For more information, check your bill or visit enbridgegas.com/Ohio.
For more than 113 years and across 4 generations of family, Sandrock Water has been faithfully serving the communities of Greater Stark County. That's 113 years worth of quality, dependability, and service. You don't last over a century unless you do things right. And at Sandrock Water, they wouldn't have it any other way. They say water is life. Well, live the good life with Sandrock Water. Home, office, commercial, and residential. If it's about water drinking, softening, and even melting, there's only one name to remember: Sandrock. Find out more at sandrockwater.com. sandrockwater.com.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah. Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back to Spotlight on this Wednesday morning. Pam Cook with you this morning. And again, a reminder, we are live on Facebook right now. And we are talking to the folks from Midwest Industrial Supply here in Canton, Robert Vitale, who is the CEO, Stephen Vitale, the president, and Jonathan Miller, director of manufacturing. And I did want to ask one more question about the building, because the renovation itself had to be pretty, that really had to entail a whole lot. I mean, money wise and effort wise, and all of the things that you guys had to do to make the building work for you. Can you explain a little bit about how that went?
Yeah. So, thanks, Pam. So in 2019, there was a meeting called with me, and it was essentially to inform me that there's some structural concerns with the building. So we got structural engineers out, and they started identifying that these tuck pointing was the start of the problem. And as we started looking at that, and it was to the tune of, we worked with Kuhn, and it was to the tune of like $750,000, which, to keep a building upright, to spend that kind of money, was a little disappointing to hear. But we knew we had to do it. So CFO at the time started looking at different ways to get financing, and we worked with ECDI and Jobs Ohio, the city of Canton, and we started to put together a financing group. And ultimately, as we were doing that, Jonathan and some others came and said, well, there's some other improvements we would like that would really help enhance productivity gains and all kinds of different things. And so we actually put together about $1.62 million worth of improvements, including the tuck pointing. And that, it kind of grew out of, kind of a negative situation and then an opportunity. And we kind of grabbed that with both hands, and we started laying out a plan to, upgrade, a lot of roof upgrades, spouting, a lot of little things that make huge impacts to how the business operates. And Jonathan can go into detail, but we created 2 extra loading docks. We put cement and asphalt in areas that were gravel, that really were, kind of a negative operating situation for the guys every day, trying to drive over gravel roads with tow motors. It was quite phenomenal. And then we did a bunch of office upgrades. We upgraded for safety, all of our fire protection. So we just kind of took it all at once, and $1.62 million in a 120-year-old building in 9 months is what we ended up doing. It was quite phenomenal in the results. If you drive down 3rd Street it's a one-way street away from downtown, we had windows that I think were the original windows in the 1896 built building, and it was not very pretty. And now when you drive down when you go down 3rd Street, I mean, we have these beautiful buildings. It's unbelievable the difference inside and outside this building has taken on with this, pretty large $1.62 million investment into the future. Additionally, in about 2 years prior to that, or maybe 3 years prior to that, we did $1 million upgrade of a major manufacturing cell that John led, that took a bunch of manual processes and automated them. So in probably under a 5-year period, we've put almost $3 million into this facility, because we plan to be here for a very, very long time. I mean, Bob started the company in Canton, and we plan to be here. We're coming up next year will be our 50th anniversary, which we're going to be celebrating in downtown Canton at the Onesto. And we plan to be here for a long, long time. So this investment was really to improve today, but also really set us up for the future.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe Jonathan, you can talk a little bit more about some of the things that you went through doing this too. Were there hurdles? Were there things that you had to, get past? I'm sure
only a few.
Got a list, right?
Yeah. No. It thankfully a lot of help in managing the project. So a great team that ran this, being able to work together, and and the vendors we got to work with were all wonderful to work with. We've had experiences before where that's not always the case. Sometimes you have to struggle with that, but the ones we were able to work with on this project really worked very well with us, really supported the vision that we had, and did their work to the benefit of Midwest. So, Steve mentioned is about $1.62 million, 9-month construction project to get that all done. We worked with 12 different vendors, with the main ones. And like Steve alluded to already, we did a bunch of work on the brick just to hold the building up. So a lot of that was done. What was nice though was in this project though, not only were we able to gain that structural integrity that we really needed to keep the buildings going, but we were able to improve the image also, and the safety and productivity of those who work here. So it was kind of nice to be able to wrap all of those things into one project and knock a lot of those things off the list. So what we did, the brickwork, that was a big part of it. We also laid out asphalt. We had Jeffries out here laying out some asphalt for us that saves a lot of wear and tear on the equipment, also on the people who are doing the work, moving things back and forth. So asphalt work, we had electrical upgrades that were done by D&E Electric. We had a lot of concrete and some of the structural improvements done by RG Smith, local company. It's great working with those guys. So they came out here. Something that they did for us specifically on the productivity and safety wins. We had an area that had been identified that you had to perform a job function a specific way because it was possible to be unsafe in other ways. So there's a specific way of performing the task, but they were able to improve that work area, not only to give us better productivity, but also the safety wins were huge in what they were able to do for us there. So a lot of work done by RG Smith. And we had WM Commercial Roofing out of New Philadelphia up here and doing a bunch of work on our roof, gutter upgrades, downspouts, all that. So just some major maintenance work that needed done there, some new roofs. Let's see, we also had Corson out here quite a bit doing the fire suppression system upgrades, but also the fire alarm upgrades. So linking all that and bringing us up to the modern code with that.
Yeah.
So a lot of different projects, but it really was neat to work with different vendors and approach it not just from, like Steve said, we had the opportunity, not just the negative, we have a structural issue, but we have the opportunity to make things better for safety and better for productivity. So really a lot of fun, great project.
Yeah, it really is funny. I mean, we have a lot of areas that are the brick that, you see with Jonathan. And I would sit in my office here. To my right is several windows and wonderful brick. But in the winter, I would sit here and the wind would blow right through the brick. I would have to get cold between the windows and the gaps in the brick, or that would come right through. There's cement in between the bricks, but the wind would come right through there. So it was funny. Everybody had to deal with these kind of things, and now that's all corrected. The windows are beautiful. Wonderful sunlight comes in. The wind doesn't.
Warm and cozy.
Yeah. And those windows were that was Everhard Glass. That's one I forgot to mention. But Everhard Glass did the window upgrade for us.
And really wonderful windows. I mean, we maintained absolutely everything in its original existing form. We didn't modify or eliminate any of the old, wonderfully warm and comfortable features of the building.
Yeah.
And they all, I mean, the windows are a delight, you know.
And then you can tell he was cold.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's important too. But it's an extension of the city. I mean, that's, you know, as the city tries to expand and grow, and you know, all of the areas, the arts district, and what they're bringing down to that area with the restaurants and things. That's an important part. They want it to be good, and you guys are a big part of that in that area too.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to take our break for the news right now. And when we come back, we've got a lot more to talk about. A wonderful company that is remaining in Canton, Midwest Industrial Supply. And we'll be back on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, one of the leaders in the toilet paper industry, an Ohio-based company, is not getting the job done for the environment. The National Resources Defense Council gave Procter & Gamble straight F grades for the 6th year in a row in the review of its tissue brand sustainability. The maker of Charmin sources much of its material from Canadian boreal forest, one of the world's largest forests. It's crucial for absorbing carbon dioxide. Georgia Pacific, on the other hand, received A+ grades for its new line of completely recycled tissue paper. China test fires an intercontinental ballistic missile into the Pacific Ocean. The Defense Ministry statement said the launch was part of an annual routine training and was not directed against any country. The ICBM carried a dummy warhead and fell into the targeted areas. Tropical storm Helene formed yesterday as expected, and if the forecast from the National Hurricane Center is correct, the Big Bend area of Florida could see it make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane tomorrow, with potential maximum sustained winds of 115 miles an hour. The Guardians beat the Reds last night and clinched a bye in the playoffs. They'll start playoff action on October 5th. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
There's a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Going to be expecting a cloudy, damp day overall with some light showers around, high temperature hitting 73 degrees. Then we're partly cloudy overnight at a low of 62. A little bit more cloudy to start the day tomorrow, but then we'll have a nice mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon with a high of 76. You can always get the latest weather news and forecast when and how you want, wherever you are, with our free AccuWeather app. I'm meteorologist Jeff Nordine for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text REP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text REP to 42424. That's REP to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Would you rather have quality or speed? Get both at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, Canton's trusted oil change provider. We'll change your oil in about 15 minutes. We're always quick, but never rushed. Drive in today. No appointment needed.
Purchase a twin tank water softener from Verndale Water Experts and you'll get $250 off, a free reverse osmosis drinking water system, and 0% financing. Call Verndale Water Experts.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And again, welcome back to Spotlight on this Wednesday morning. And we are talking with the folks from Midwest Industrial Supply. We have Robert Vitale, the CEO, Stephen Vitale, president, and also Jonathan Miller, director of manufacturing. And we've had a good conversation about the wonderful building and the history of the company. So let's talk a little bit about what you do and what the company does. I look at the website and I'm flabbergasted at everything that is there. There's so much, but like you say, you touch so many different parts of people's lives. It's pretty amazing, the things that you guys do. So maybe you can explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So we're in we have three business segments, and I'll go through each one. The business segments are dust control, stabilization, and what we call rail and specialty. So dust control is what a lot of people don't know is large organizations, industrial organizations operate with unpaved roads in areas that they have to control the dust emissions that come off those roads per the Clean Air, Clean Water Act of 1972. And they have what's called a Title V permit that allows them to emit a certain amount of dust emissions off those unpaved roads. But what's interesting is because of the equipment that they operate, they can't have regular paved roads or even cement roads because the equipment's so heavy that they would just break everything up. So most industrial large facilities, take Timken, Cleveland Cliffs up in Cleveland, EQT operating in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Those are all unpaved road systems. And so we provide dust control solutions to take an unpaved road with dust emissions to what kind of looks like a paved road. So that's the core of dust control. Stabilization is where we look to build or upgrade unpaved roadway systems. And so we actually take our chemicals, blend them into a dirt road system, and then either we're upgrading the road, or we're building a road. So we're actually taking our chemicals, blending them into the road, and then essentially building a road system. And then in the rail specialty business, we are in the lubricant, predominantly in the lubricant and anti-icing, de-icing business. So in the dust control business, our two major customers are industrial customers like iron and steel, precast concrete, military, oil and gas, and then hard rock mining. And in mining, we do predominantly gold, copper, and nickel miners. We still have a little bit of a coal business, but we've kind of shifted away from that. And in the stabilization business, you can really think about it as the northern part of the America, Canada, Alaska, and then the lower 48. In the northern part, Canada, Alaska, they actually move most of the things they do up there via planes. So there's a large network of gravel runways, and we have a stabilization system that helps them operate these gravel runways into mines, into communities that help them achieve their goals. And then the lower 48, where you're dealing with kind of the normal temperature regions, we work with clients, predominantly, municipalities, townships, anybody operating large unpaved road networks. And in the last 5 years, we've seen an uptick with the solar and wind are markets that areas, turning them into dirt fields, putting in solar panels, wind farms. And so we help stabilize the roads that you can get in and get out, to build everything, and then also to maintain. So companies like Tesla, as they're doing things. And then the other big thing we're seeing is with the boom of AI, these big server farms are turning into large, areas that they're buying land in kind of out of, nowhere. And they have the issue of bringing in all kinds of supplies where there's no actual formal roads. So we, again, help them build those roads so that they can operate to build whatever they're building, maintain, needing to maintain. Rail specialty, we have two lines of products for lubrication where there's like 300,000. If you think about a rail, you just heard it in the back. That's perfect timing. The rail switches in all the hump yards and transfer yards. There's about 300,000 switches in North America, and every single one of them can stick. And if they stick, somebody has to go out there physically do the work, or you have trains taking stuff to where they're not supposed to go. So we have a product called Glidex that does rail switch lubrication. And then we've, in the last 10 years, got into an interesting business where it's top of rail friction management, and we're lowering the coefficient of friction on the actual rails and going up, down hills and curves. We have a strategic partner we work with there. And that's a large business where we're trying to help the large railroads reduce rail wear and improve fuel efficiencies. But generally speaking, in the dust control and stabilization business, it starts kind of with compliance, that there's laws in the United States about emitting dust off of, anything of these unpaved roads, if it's a community road, if it's an industrial road, because it's got carcinogens. OSHA's come out with a new rule, a silica rule, that limits how much dust one person can receive in a period of time during an 8-hour work shift. So it starts with compliance is typically why people call us. We have to comply with these laws. And then it gets into, as you can imagine, as the world has shifted to being very pro-worker, pro-employee, health and safety. Well, my people are out there working in this yard. They have to wear respirators. You can't have any hair. They're very uncomfortable. So why don't we do something about improving their work environment? So then it moves to kind of just general health and safety. On these unpaved roads, you can't see. If you're driving down a paved road, if it's a community road or if it's an industrial road, sometimes the dust plumes are so large that you can't see for 5, 10, 15 seconds. And if another vehicle is coming on, you can have a pretty high safety risk. So then we get there, and that's another reason why people call us. And then the last is typically what happens is when they call us in, we're able to show them operational benefits for implementing our solutions that if in a 1-year period, 5-year period, and even 20-year period, that we can save them millions of dollars in improving how they operate unpaved road systems. If it's an industrial site, if it's a municipality. And so that's our core business, is really about helping clients with unpaved systems. A tagline we use is innovations for the unpaved world, right? And one thing that I'll say, because this is the essence of what my father, Bob, here has done with the business, is we have a long-term imperative. And Bob can speak to this. And the statement is very clean and clear. We build customer solutions with innovation and technology. We are not a commodity player. We are in the high end of all of our markets. We bring innovative solutions to those markets. If it's not only the chemistries or the products, delivery mechanisms, and even the concepts of how to work with clients that have either financial budget restrictions. So we innovate across the whole line on how we can help our customers.
Are there very many companies like you that do what you do?
There are regional niche players in niche areas. Like there's people in Arizona that do one thing for the mines. There's some companies in different, I would say there's these small regional players that we're well aware of, and they have 1 or 2 products, or they do 1 or 2 things. We're the largest dust control and stabilization company in North America, and our breadth and stretch and product line is unmatched, unparalleled, and nobody has, I would say, the capabilities that we have. We have one of our, Warren Buffett, we have a moat, and one of our moats is we have a North American footprint from all of Canada all the way down through the lower 48, where we have 12 satellites. We've got regional account managers, regional field service managers. We've got what we call field application specialists, technical application specialists. If a client has a problem, we are so distributed throughout the United States and Canada that I would say within 1 day, we'll typically get to a client to help solve their problem. Wow. Nobody is even close to matching us. And this footprint, this regional footprint that gives us a national footprint, is something that is unparalleled, and it is allowing us to leverage that into the future, which gives us unbelievable growth opportunity, which is quite exciting. Feel like we've been in business for 50 years, but we're kind of just getting started too.
And Bob, I would say, is that why you stay in Canton? Why do you stay in Canton? You have this business that could be anywhere, you stay in Canton.
Well, very much, excuse me. Mm-hmm. I'm a product of Canton. I was born and raised here. I've said this just recently a couple of times. It just amazes me. At my age, I look around and I've, traveled, and you work sort of globally. But when I look where I am at, I probably I live and have grown up in and worked for 80 some years within maybe 3 miles of where I was born. I was lived on 1106 Clarendon Avenue Northwest and moved to 113 Poplar Avenue. So I'm Canton, and I enjoy it. I can remember the city when it was just bustling. When I was in the 5th grade, take the bus, come down and go up and down Market Avenue and come down East Tusk, and it's home.
Right. And that's great. That's great. That's probably it. And that's why it works for you and works for the business as well. Yeah. All right. We have to take our final break. And when we come back, we'll talk some more and wrap things up. Midwest Industrial Supply on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC. Midwest Cares. For nearly 50 years, Canton's own Midwest Industrial Supply has been making underground mines, community roads, industries, gravel runways, and railways safer. Midwest invented and leads the world in earth-conscious dust control and soil stabilization. The company also supports economic development in our area with over 100 employees and a recent $1.62 million investment to remodel its historic headquarters with several local companies. Midwest Cares, about our community. Visit us at midwestind.com.
Saturday, October 5th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., historic Zoar Village will have some very distinguished visitors during Zoar and the President's Day. You'll have the opportunity to meet a selection of American presidents from the 19th century, as presidential reenactors will be on hand throughout the village, as well as characters from Zoar's history. Tickets are $12 for adults. Children 12 and under get in free. Learn more about Zoar and the President's Day at historiczoarvillage.com.
Sarshone Auto Group is Ohio's fastest growing automotive group with 6 locations in Northeast Ohio, featuring top brands like Chevy, Ford, Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and more. Experience the fast, friendly, no-pressure approach to car buying that makes Sarshone truly different. Visit Sarshone today or see the selection of thousands of new and used vehicles at sarshone.com. Sarshone Auto Group, an official partner of the Cleveland Browns.
Saturday, October 5th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., historic Zoar Village will have some very distinguished visitors during Zoar and the President's Day. You'll have the opportunity to meet a selection of American presidents from the 19th century, as presidential reenactors will be on hand throughout the village, as well as characters from Zoar's history. Tickets are $12 for adults. Children 12 and under get in free. Learn more about Zoar and the President's Day at historiczoarvillage.com.
Midwest Cares. For nearly 50 years, Canton's own Midwest Industrial Supply has been making underground mines, community roads, industries, gravel runways, and railways safer. Midwest invented and leads the world in earth-conscious dust control and soil stabilization. The company also supports economic development in our area with over 100 employees and a recent $1.62 million investment to remodel its historic headquarters with several local companies. Midwest Cares, about our community. Visit us at midwestind.com.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot.
The fresher, the better.
For everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, and welcome back. And don't forget, if you'd like to check out the video portion of our show, you can do that on our Facebook page anytime and watch the entire program if you missed the beginning. But again, we are talking with the folks from Midwest Industrial Supply and Robert Vitale, CEO, Stephen Vitale, President, and Jonathan Miller, Director of Manufacturing. We just have a couple more minutes, guys. And if you wanted to give a message to the community here, you know, about Midwest Industrial Supply, what do you think that would be?
I mean, Canton is really a wonderful community to live in. It's a wonderful community to work in. everything about it. As you know, you were mentioning the wonderful restaurants in downtown Canton and all the services, great people, great resource for good employees. So it's a good place to call home, and it's a good place to live. It's a good place to do business.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what, I think that's a lot of times people are looking for businesses like yours to attract other businesses, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How many employees do you have?
Right around 100. I think it's like 98 today.
Okay. So that's good. And I being in a place that's, downtown and, like I said, you guys, you're part of that attraction of the new downtown and everything that they're working on. So that's a really good thing. It's a great thing for a company like yours that's been around for a long time to continue to support the city and do your work.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. People are putting an awful lot of effort into continuing to make the community viable and successful. And there's a good vibe. It's a good feel. It's really a good thing to be part of.
And we need the young people to carry it on, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's what I say too. All right. Well, I thank you guys for coming on today. The website, if anybody wants to go take a look, MidwestIND.com. It's industries, but MidwestIND.com. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoyed it, Pam.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by: never leave a fallen warrior behind.